Well, we've got very little on the MaxTrack Live as of yet, but there is moisture on the rise out west, and there is some active weather heading our way for the weekend. Not a huge hit, but one that could impact you, especially overnight and into your early morning commute, especially if you live down south. So let's get into it. Talk about what's up right now. MaxTrack Live on the western edge. This is thousands and thousands of feet up where the radar beam is intercepting this. But if we throw on the next rad, you can see the moisture that is on the move, most definitely, in towards western Kentucky. And over spreading Missouri, they got a pretty good swath of snow there and a mix over to some rain. We've got all this heading in our direction, although the moisture is going to be a little more confined to our southern counties as this southern low fast tracks its way out toward the east coast by this time tomorrow. So it's going to be a quick hit. This thing isn't messing around. We've got winter weather advisory in effect, and it runs all the way up into the upper Midwest, but does include southern Illinois, southern Indiana, parts of the Bluegrass and western Kentucky, but does not include southeastern counties. National Weather Service office in Jackson has held off on issuing one. The future track shows that moisture as it rolls in, and notice how, as it's done the last few days, it continues that southern track. It is conceivable that parts of Fayette surrounding counties, definitely northern Kentucky, but even in here, aren't going to see very much out of this. But there's going to be a very narrow band of accumulating snow over to cold rain down toward the Tennessee border. And it'll wrap up by tomorrow afternoon. Precipitation totals in that narrow band, a couple of inches of snow, a possibility, but look how narrow it is. We're hardly anything on the northern edge of it, and there's a very sharp cutoff to the south where it kicks over to rain as well. And due to the fast movement of this, it's going to limit accumulation. We've got relatively warm ground temperature. That'll help temper it a little bit. And as well, the fast movement of it with that inch or two of snow will limit any ice accumulation. Best chance to see some light icing and issues from that back towards Paducah. Spitting out a little bit of light freezing rain thrown in the mix between the rain and snow there. So watch out for that later on this evening into early tomorrow morning as well. Roads could easily become slick, especially if you're traveling into our southern counties Saturday morning. Mid-40s now. We were in the mid-50s earlier. Our high for the day, we've already hit it. We had a cold front go through, and it's still going through. It's getting into eastern Kentucky now. And you see the impact. It's 40 up in Covington. It's still in the mid-50s, 55 in Jackson and in Harlan. So that chillier air continues to filter in. We'll spend the afternoon in the 40s. The clouds are going to stay on the thick side, and eventually that moisture will overrun us, with the best chance at that mix over to some light accumulating snow just to the south of Lexington in that line I just showed you across southern counties. Overnight lows upper 20s. Tomorrow, clouds will hang around, but the moisture is pretty much done. So precipitation chances pretty much for the morning. There'll be another ripple coming later in the weekend. Temperatures a little bit on the milder side, so we may see some icy mix potential, generally some cold rain showers Sunday. It looks like we'll wind up for another run toward the middle of next week, and the only thing Goodman's paying any attention to, the end of the 8-day storm tracker forecast, 50s and 60s out there. Let's hope we can hold on to them.
Thank you, Ty.